What is going on, my friends? Welcome back to another video. We have got some good and exciting news for you pertaining to the 05. Everywhere that I have been and anyone that I have talked to, their number one question is always, what's going on with the 05? What's the plan? Where's the new engine? What's going on? So in this video, we'll get into that a little bit because we're taking a road trip to finally go pick up a new engine block for Freedom Racing Engines to build for the 05 to get us back up and running. There's been a lot of talking going on. There's been a lot of planning, kind of deciding the route of the truck and the engine that gets put in it. Obviously, with the horsepower level that we're playing at, there's just a lot involved with what's going on, what's happened in the past, with the power levels that it's made. And what we just want to do moving forward. So that's kind of the delay in time of just kind of figuring things out. And to top it all off, Freedom uses a non-stock 6.7 block. So you can't just go to our good buddy Mitten Motors, go pick up a core engine, use a stock 6.7 block, uses an aftermarket 6.7 block that they then extremely modify from there. So they don't make those blocks anymore. That's been the other part of the challenge is the blocks that we've had and that we've been using aren't made anymore. So we found one. It's relatively close by, about 3 hours away in Tennessee, and we are going to go pick that up and then probably in the same video drop it off with Freedom. And I believe they have another engine done for one of our other trucks, which we'll get into. So here she is, just sitting here, just waiting, just making sure the next steps that we do and take are well thought out and planned. That way, that's, just success and what we want to do. The little bit of time that's going to take to plan this stuff out, going to pay off in the long run. So let's go get ourselves a new engine block so we can get baby back up and running, because it's sitting here without an engine. Has just, it does something right here. So I'm ready to see this thing back together. We actually found another bed for it. So the comeback is happening. The comeback is happening. I'm not sure exactly if it'll be done for Shide, but Smoky Mountain Truck Fest and Blake's event in October are what we are shooting to have the truck back together for. I'll tell you what, I don't know if I'm preaching to the choir or not, but these horse stall mats that Tractor Supply sells, if you guys don't just have one of these things laying around to throw in the back of your truck, that way when you go ahead and put engine blocks or cylinder heads or anything that you want, just a nice thick rubber mat, make sure it doesn't slide around all on your bed, mess your bed up, mess whatever you're bringing back. These horse mats, honestly, must have for any truck bed guy that's putting stuff in there that they don't want messed up. It's a good thing we're not picking up anything that needs to stay dry that might not want to get wet on the way home. Hopefully this passes, or we can find something to cover up that engine block, because rain and raw metal do not mix. We're almost there. 3 hours later. We have our new engine block. Unfortunately, we did not miss the rain. There she is. Got her kind of in a crate. Hopefully she's staying somewhat dry. We have made it back with our new engine block. We're gonna get this thing out of its little crate here. Hopefully it didn't get too wet, and give it some WD-40 treatment. That way she doesn't rust if it did get a little wet in the monsoon that we just drove through. But we're home, and we'll make sure that we're good before we head up to Freedom here in the next day to deliver this bad boy so they can start working on this thing. It is Monday morning. Looks like our crate sustained a slight amount of damage, but our new engine block for the 05 is at Fleece and Freedom Racing Engines. They are doing quite the renovation. They're actually adding on to this building, so we're on the other side where we don't usually come in, but we have got our new block in here. So let's go find the boys, unload this thing, and I'm pretty sure the new engine for the first gen burnout truck is done. So super excited. I've been getting pictures of that. Hopefully we can bring that home. So I come here thinking that we're going to be in and out of here in maybe like 20-30 minutes. It usually ends up being hours. So let's see what we got going on.
You want the bad news or the bad news? And he's like, yeah, fine, what is it? And I'm like, we're doing another wet deck plate build. And he's like,
so you gotta take your 2 old ones.
Oh yeah.
I'll find something. I'll leave my tailgate down on the way home.
that'd be good. That'd be good fish structure out in the pond.
Yeah.
Need to have Gerald pick one up with the excavator and just do the...
See how far he can throw it.
There's the whole one. No, that's not supposed to be like that. And then there's the cracked one. Here's the rod out of that deck plate engine. Woo, buddy. That's not supposed to be like that. That's a good one. Wow.
That's awesome.
That is really cool. I'm gonna take this home.
We done stole the forklift. I've had on this big job.
Time later, we are packaged up. We have got our new engine for the first gen project common rail swap. Every single truck in the shop is underway. We'll get into a little bit of details when we get back to the shop on the engine, all that good stuff. But we have one more stop to drop off some stuff for Cam for some powder coating. But other than that, Dawson's driving, so we'll see if it makes it home in one piece. But another beauty of an engine from the boys over at Freedom Racing Engines. We have made it back to the shop in one piece. The engine did stay in its home, and we're in good shape. So, new engine, not for the 05, which some of you guys may have been thinking. This engine is for the first gen, the burnout truck. So let's get into that just a little bit, because I know what you guys are thinking and what I've said before in the past, because if I say something 7 years ago, you guys remember it like it was yesterday and you love to call me out on it. So let's talk about it, because I did say that I'm like, you know what? We got to keep one mechanical Mafia engine in the fleet, which this is kind of like, you know, P-pump dinosaur power. It's always been that way. It's just a different feel. It's rowdy. It's awesome. Just good old tractor vibes. So what I'm thinking for this engine, because we can't just say goodbye to this engine, while it does need to probably get torn down, looked at, because it's just gone through so much stuff. It's gone through hell and back, but we need to kind of tear this thing down, make sure it's good. And then what I'm thinking is we redo the air system on it. But as far as like the engine setup and the power that it makes, what if, hear me out, what if we put this in the Teal 62 swept line? That would be insane, because that truck with a little bit of a different transmission, because that Get Rag 5-speed is not going to handle any of that. We have an NV5600 over there, so we 6-speed swap it, and we put this insane tractor engine in the swept line. I think that sounds like an insanely cool plan. So the engine will live on, trust me, in another home around here. But obviously we are stacking up common rail swaps, because you can't change my mind. 6.7 common rail of the world. So Freedom put together this bad engine. Told them that we wanted to kind of make somewhere in the 1,500 horsepower range. It's got one of their new dual pump covers. So we're gonna run dual pumps on this thing. Got a big nasty head on it with their billet intake manifold. So fully done up head, fully built bottom end, fully decked out, rated for that kind of power. Super, super excited. Obviously we'll put some S&S fuel and some big turbos, or who knows what we're gonna do with the air setup on this thing. We might get a little crazy. We might do some different things on it, but I am very excited for this thing to just, I mean, I think we gotta keep the no hood thing going, but we gotta make sure this stays really, really nice, because this popping out of that patina wagon over there is just gonna look insane. So super, super pumped for this engine. It's gonna be a unit. We also, because every time we pop tires, like it's sitting over there now, we don't have tires to like put on the back. So I actually went ahead and called up the guys over at JTX, because you know JTX the world over here on this camp as well. We got 2 additional rear wheels that we can now mount full-size spares. That way, if we go through a weekend that's got 2 days of burnouts, we can then just swap these wheels that already have tires on it, except trying to find a tire shop and get them swapped. So sorry, this thing's hiding in a corner. Right now, the Peterbilt cannot move, so we'll get into that a little bit later. But anyway, this thing's kind of just stuffed in the corner. We need to do something about the tires right here. But common rail swap happening very, very soon. This thing has been overdue for some attention, especially in the coolant department, the intercooler department. Keeping this thing cool, that's gonna be a main objective when we do the common rail swap, is just building up the coolant system and the intercooler system to kind of keep air intake temperatures down and the cooling system down, because right now it gets hot quick. We've proved that. How it's living, we still don't know. But this bad boy, we're gonna make sure lives a long, happy life with coolant, EGTs, all of that in check. But there you have it. Boys at Freedom Racing Engines doing it again. And also, not only this big news for the first gen, but we have progress happening on the 05's new engine. Finally found a block. That's up there. They're gonna knock that out. Super, super, super thankful for everyone at Fleece and Freedom. This ship would not cruise around the world without those guys. Every single person there helps us out more than I could ever say. So extremely thankful for those guys. That is pretty much gonna wrap up this video. A lot of running around, but big updates for the builds happening around here. First gen's going under the knife. Second gen's going under the knife. This thing's under the knife. That knife season's just happening out here. We're just cutting everything up. Not literally, I hope not anyway, but there we have it, boys. Next videos, we will be pulling engines out of a lot of things.